Good afternoon, everybody. It is literally afternoon, and this morning I had a project in mind. First of all, I'm not going to work today because it's snowing. It's not looking too bad right now, but apparently the roads are absolutely horrible. We got our first snowstorm, squalls, blowing. Anyway, decided to stay home. There's lots of work I can do here as well. So, I was going to replace this door. First things first. This is a normal door for us. Hey, how are you? I'm showing a door. So normal doors here go in. Exterior doors come in, and totally different system. So this is how thick they are. They're fully insulated, full of styrofoam, basically sprayed in these doors and sealed like this. And that's it. And we have very, very thin profile on the bottom. So I'll show you the new door. This one's actually very old, but that's how they work. But they want a new one. And the handle here doesn't even fit on this one. They want a new one with a window in it. So that's what I'm going to replace this door with. And then after that, I'm going to finish the drywall. So they got some new drywall here. There's a bathroom done. I'm going to mud all this. There's a little wall here for the laundry. They want some drywall on that. We're going to take care of it. And I'm going to clean up this wall. A little bit of mudding's been done, but I got to sand this all down, make it smooth so they can paint it. And we're going to put a ceiling in here. I'm not going to get all that done today, but we're putting a fake ceiling in down lower and then pop some pot lights in. So lots of work to do, and I was going to start on that earlier, but there was a fan laying in my way, and so that led to one thing to another. We installed the fan in the master bedroom, and then I fixed the wiring there because the plugs in the wall weren't working, which led to fixing the wiring in the island in the kitchen, and now it's after lunch. We're finally getting in here. These kids wanted in, I think. They can probably come in. You can come in if you want. Oh, you're just standing out there? So they're playing in the snow. You can see it's a bit of a winter wonderland here. At Nana and Grandpa's place. You guys having fun so far? Yeah. Little holiday. Well, long holiday, I guess, but so far it's only been a little holiday. So it's right around zero. We got a lot of this. Makes the roads pretty mushy. And the work that we had to do today, we didn't want any wind. And so it's supposed to be 60 km/h winds. We're very sheltered here in the cedar trees, so you don't really see a lot of wind. But apparently on the road, you can kind of hear it. But anyway, we had to stretch some plastic in the barn today, and the wind would have made that very difficult. So tomorrow is another day. I tell you, I jokingly told him to bring the door in. I didn't actually expect him to bring it in by himself. But this gives us an opportunity. So this is another door, an exterior door again, and there's windows in it. So we really like to have that, and that's what I wanted in our house in Russia, and I could not find it. This is a screen door for the outside. That goes out. And this is the interior door. Now, you don't have to have a screen door, that's an optional. But this is a fancier front door. It has side panels, side lights, as well as the main thing, and then you get glass in it. This is the door we will be installing. It's a lot like our door in Russia, which is fully glass. But, you can see, this here is extremely thin. So that's a lot nicer. You don't trip over it, like the one we have is this big. And it's meant to swing in the house versus all the doors we found in Russia were meant to swing out. And I really don't understand why you'd want a door to swing out. In an apartment, it makes sense. But if you can imagine, we're getting a lot of snow right now. We have had times where we've had snow this deep on the outside of a house because the wind was blowing. And so when we opened the door, there was literally that much snow on the other side. If that door was to swing out, we would never get the door open. So to me, an outside door should always swing in. It's a lot safer that way to be able to get in and out of your house. So like I said, it's basically exactly like what we've installed, except this is not plastic, this is actually a metal. It's got wood in certain areas to give it strength. That's basically just, fastening wise. And then it's got styrofoam everywhere else, and then solid glass. But it is an in-swing door. And then like I said, this is it. That's as thick as this is. This will be sitting on the ground, and that's it. And it's got a really good seal on there to keep water from getting in. So I really, really prefer this. If I could find this, I would actually replace the doors that we have currently because I do not like them. They do not close properly, and they got this big gawky thing on the bottom. And it as well, it has a big lump here, so any water that hits the door actually gets between the lump and the door, and then when you open the door it comes in, so not a big fan of that either. The other thing, when you open ours, it has a track on the bottom. Now it's a locking feature. It locks on the sides as well as on the bottom. These don't have that. We literally just have a deadbolt and the door handle itself. So you could say it's not as safe. Maybe, I don't know. I've never heard of anybody. I mean, really, if you want, you just go through the window, right? But with that track on our door, it actually catches a lot of dirt. So that's just another little thing. I really like these doors and wish we could get. So we're going to measure this now just to double check that it does actually fit before we open it up, and then we will replace it. But that's going to imagine, like, just that's going to let in so much more light. It'll be wonderful. So first step, we got to remove all this, and then the outside also has some trim that we're going to have to reuse. So we'll have to carefully remove it as well. That it?
I think so.
Should be.
Nice.
It's only like half a box of screws. Pardon me?
It's a nice Robbie screws.
Oh yeah, you should show everybody that. What are you talking about, Robbie screws? Can't see that light's shining in there. So this is a Canadian invention. It focuses. It's square, not Phillips. It's not a star. It's a square. 100 times better. Is it better?
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
Because it doesn't strip so easy.
Those star bits are horrible. So if you don't know what it is, we still use them in this country. Canada still uses them, but only for drywall screws, pretty much. Okay, some electrical stuff. By and large, though, we use this, which is a square bit. Way, 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 way better. And something I just didn't think about. We moved to Russia, and you cannot get square ones. So I've had a few people joke that we could bring them in, but then if we build something, if somebody has to fix it in a few years, they won't be able to take it apart. So we'll just keep using the stars. But these are really nice, and they are, as far as I remember, a Canadian invention. What do you got left?
Just take it off the hinges.
Well, let's get everything first taken off so we don't make the whole house cold.
Well,
So I'm going to show everybody the outside here in a minute, if I can. So we've got this here trim that's painted on. Painted on the outside of the door, and we want to salvage that. The door and the door frame is just this portion, and then this trim has to stay, and we don't want to beat it up too bad, so we got to take it apart very carefully so that we can do that. Okay, we got the door off. Makes it considerably colder in here, so we put some plastic up there to keep some heat in the house. And what we're trying to do now is salvage this trim. Probably originally would have came with it. That door does not. So we're going to try to gently separate it and bang on it with a block. I think I need this portion and this portion, but we'll find out when we pull it out. We're going to try to keep this. It's still mostly intact and caulked around here. So I've got it separated a bit. We'll cut these holes or these nails off with the Sawzall gently and see if we can just kind of pry this off of here a minute. lets in just an enormous amount of light, and you can see Finley. Because everybody wants to see Finley. He doesn't want to wave back. There's 5 of us standing in here waving. But he just refuses.
Well, because...
Oh, I see a finger moving. That counts as a wave, folks. There's a finger moving right there. I seen it. There it is. Hi. Funny guy. All right, I'm going to run to the store and get some foam for around here, and also caulking along the bottom. It's very important to put caulking down there to keep water from getting back in. And then some shims just to adjust it. And then we'll get it installed. While I'm doing that, Wes is going to try to take apart the other piece of trim ring around the old frame. And then we'll get her put together. All right, we are off down on the snowy roads. And today is something different because we're not in England and we're not in Australia, but I'm getting in this side. And it's not because Anneesa's driving, okay? We've got Cora driving for the very first time, legally too.
Yeah, I forgot to get it, so I have to go in the house again.
Get your license?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll tell everybody. Good job.
Better not film. What if I crash?
You better not. So in Canada, it's different depending on where you are in Canada. Certain places in Western Canada, you can drive at 14 years old. But in Ontario, where we are right now, you can drive at 16. So Cora is 16. She's 17, actually. And so she could have got her license already last year, but we weren't here. So that's one thing she did right away. She went with Grandpa to the license office and she wrote her test. I just got a phone call. Grandpa just took, look at all the kids in there waiting and looking. Grandpa just took Cora to try to get her driver's license. And he just gave us a call and told us that she's driving. Congratulations, honey! Yay!
Nice, good job.
3 wrong.
I figured you would do fine.
And Grandpa let me drive home.
Did you do good?
Well, he screamed the whole way, but other than that, it's okay.
You're home now?
Yeah.
Ah, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So first thing you want to do is set your mirrors, right? And better not forget your seatbelt. Scary business. She's doing wonderful. I think she's a bit nervous, but that's understandable since it's only the second time driving down the road. It's a little bit different driving on the road, I think, than driving in the field. Yeah. And I guess you don't normally go 60 kilometers an hour in my field, do you? Hey, don't get too close to the edge.
Here you're responsible for not only your passengers, but also the other people on the road.
That's right.
That's scary.
And what I try to remind you guys is, you don't, even if you're a good driver, that other guy might not be, and you got to plan for that too, right? Time of year, this town's dead. Nobody home. Windy, but this is Home Hardware. These stores exist, mom and pop shops basically. They're owned by families all over Canada, especially in Ontario where it was started, and they are huge. Some of them are smaller, but big hardware stores. So this is Miller's Home Hardware Building Center. So a big store full of stuff, and then they have a huge lumber yard out here. Whatever you need, it's there, ready to go. It's all owned by one enterprise, okay? This isn't multiple stores, it's one. And all the home hardwares essentially are very much the same. The door, they'll throw you out if you're not behaved. So.
Hello.
All right, this is inside. Row upon row of tools, paint, supplies, everything. All in one door. So we're gonna find some spray foam. But we got plumbing, electrical, kitchen stuff, paint section here. They'll mix up whatever you need. Barbecues, flooring. There's little model houses set up as I give you ideas of what you might need. Lots of door locks, things, hardware, tools, piles and piles of tools. I was in here the other day, I needed some stuff. Whoops. So this is more expensive stuff under lock and key. Right now, what we need is some spray foam. Got amazing stores with just a lot of everything in it. And also, contractors' desks, they'll help you with, you know, whatever you might need as far as planning your building. If you need some help deciding how to build or what to build, they have the ideas. They also will have contractors on staff. Here's some doors, just like we got. So this is a half glass and a door. This one here opens. You can slide this open and close. Super handy. Several different options. This is a giant one. Also nice. And again, all of them have a very thin threshold on the bottom. Loads of stuff. Stove pipes. Here's for railings. Anyway, very common stores. I'm going to find what I need now and get out of here. And one day maybe we'll film it in more detail. Siding. Different colors of siding. Gentech, that's what I usually use as well. A little bit of everything. Thing I very much like. I've installed so many of these. This is a three-piece, I guess, but it's one big shower surround. So you get a tub, and you get the walls. It's all acrylic, and a top. You can buy them one piece, but oftentimes they're hard to get in the house. So if you get them in three pieces, and then you set them together, and you just put some caulking in here, and it's got bolts that holds it together, and it just makes for a beautiful unit. Very easy to clean. No tiling needed. You just pop it in, and away you go. There's a picture of that as an idea. Super cool. Available in one piece or three piece. Very handy. Still haven't found that spray foam though. It's gotta be here somewhere. Alright, that was cool. Nice place, super friendly. We gotta go. I guess I don't need my seatbelt yet. So we're going outside now. I'll show you that, where all the lumber and stuff is. And we actually need 2 sheets of drywall. So they said bay 2, and there might be some backing up, and Cora didn't want to do that. Where are we going? This way? She wasn't confident enough to try it. I think she would have been just fine. What do you guys think? Drop her in the comments. So I see 987654. I don't see a 2, folks. 1. I see a 1. So this must be 2 over here. Anyway, loads of lumber, all sorts of stuff. This is an indoor. Keep all their plywoods, looks like. I've never been here before myself. Looks like a little bit of everything there. There's a, that must be bay number 2. And we got even more stuff out here, shingles and you name it. And then they deliver it to you with these trucks. Yeah. So like I said, this is just a mom and pop shop. This is to be a family of people that own this with a bunch of employees. Okay, we gotta hand them the yellow copy, see what we find. How are you today? Good. Hey, what? For some people, yeah. Not for me, I'm not a big fan. At least you just told me work.
Go back to door number 4 in the back door.
Oh, lady told me. All right, this thing is the cat's meow right here. This is on the back of a truck. This is a truck. Again, this is what I've grown up with my whole life. You order stuff and you get this. And on the back of this truck is this little forklift that they can take on and off. It just sits on the back there. Little hitchhiker. And they pull it off, and then they can unload all this lumber. There's no hand bombing. Nobody does anything by hand. They will take those skids off the trucks. So like this guy's got shingles, he can just use the boom truck, take it off. But if you had the hitchhiker, you could just take that off and set it down. And very normal. There's one that's not stuck to a truck. So that guy hooks up to the back of that truck. Okay, that's off, but it'll hook up in the back of there, and then they can drive away with them stuck. If it was my van, I would have just slid it on the side, but that jack's in the way.
You can work your way right around.
Something broke. Here you go. Nice. Thank you, sir. But not least, there, look at this selection. They got piles of drywall and insulation, all neatly inside, and steel studs. Awesome. Okay, we're off. You got keys? I got the keys, so it's okay if it's locked.
How you left it?
No. No. And this is the big outside yard again, with loads of stuff. A successful trip. Good job. We both survived.
Yeah.
And the van did too. There's no crashes. And all the other people on the road survived. They're off to a good start today. To the door. So, they've got this here trim on the outside. We're going to save that and we're going to put the new door up against it. I'll have to manufacture something here. The old sill, this one, sat out a lot farther and also went right to the edges, and this new one does not do that. So we will try to, well, first I'll get it installed and figure it out. I got to put some caulking down here underneath this sill. I like to put caulking, keep anything from going underneath, makes for a nice seal. When I'm done, I'll do here as well. Today might be a bit too cool for that. Right now, we're going to tack this back on, and then all same thing. I'll have to caulk this when it warms up, but it's just needs to be stuck to the wood that's back there. Then we'll get, I'll get Wes on the outside to watch it and make sure that it's sitting perfectly centered here as I stick some shims in from the other side. I got shims here. I buy cedar shakes in a big bundle like this, and then I can cut what I need from it. There's way more than I need, but if they ever want me to replace some windows or something next time I'm visiting, then or even this time, you know, then we have the shims. We can just keep them in the basement here. So first of all, I'm going to tack that on, and then I'll set the camera up on the tripod after that, and you can watch me put shims in from there while Wes holds it. Well, that's good, Dowie. Yeah, that's a lot of cold air out there, eh? Tape's not much good, but pulls up part of the roll. What's in there? Foam? Feels like there's still something in there. But not on this side. That's weird. With Wes on the outside, poking you right in the face. He's telling me which way to go here. I'm just putting shims in. So what I'm doing, especially behind the hinges, you need to make sure there's a shim behind each a shim behind each hinge. All right, and then that helps us to, because that's where we're putting screws through. And on this side, I'll show you, but I like to hide them behind the weather stripping. And I definitely want some shims behind the bolt lock, where it's going to be. And so it's basically 3 per side, I guess you could say. And then we got to fill up the rest of it with foam. Some guys will pull the shims out later, so it's only foam. And the reason is because the shim itself doesn't have a really good insulation value, whereas the foam would. But I like to keep the shims definitely on the hinge side. You got to keep them in, because if you take them out, then there's really nothing holding the door anymore other than foam. So we're getting there. It's still a little out of square, as you can see. But I'm going to fix some of that by pulling this hinge over. Okay, that's all done. The shims are in there. I didn't show you that. I'll do that right now in a minute. I was going to show you where I put the screws. And it's nice to hide them behind there. So, with the door open, some people don't do that, but I don't like the C-screws. Okay, so on this side you won't see them because I got them in the hinges. Right, I'm going to stick one more in there yet. On this side I don't want to see them. Some people stick them right here and you see them. But this is a weather seal. So just a little trick that I learned from a good friend of mine. You hide them in behind there. Okay, same thing here. They're hidden in behind so that you can't see them. And it just makes that much nicer of a little job. So I'm going to go ahead and foam this guy now all the way around. Wes is going to put the doorknobs in. And then she should be weather tight for tonight. And then all we got to do is finish a little piece of trim on the outside yet too. Alright, job all done other than trim. And a happy mother-in-law. Are you happy?
Oh, yeah.
You like it?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely lets a lot more light in. So we got to adjust this bolt lock yet, but other than that, she is good to go. And then caulking on the outside when it's not so cold and snowy. Hope you enjoyed the video as always. Don't forget to check the links down below in the description. And we'll catch you in another one. God bless you.